What is considered socially unacceptable for no reason? Story 1. Not wanting to make small talk. Sometimes being alone in a public place is my only alone time. I have to put on the show at work and talk to people all day long, and if I just want to sit in a bar or cafe or on a bench by myself and stare at my phone, I shouldn't be forced to exchange small talk with someone just because they happen to be in the vicinity of me. Like, currently I'm having a really bad day and just want to go sit and have a drink and stare at cats or something because being in my house is making it worse. But I can't, because I'll be forced to chit-chat with someone near me. Headphones don't work for the determined conversationalist. I absolutely do not mean this in whatever sexist-based way it could be taken, but I've been getting notifications pretty steadily for a while, and it's usually 2 at a time, one telling me to wear headphones, which I assume is a male because that kind of thing works for men, and one commiserating, which usually sounds like a fellow female. To everyone, if someone has headphones in, do not wave and insist they take them out to talk to you. No one owes you a conversation. Either way, no one owes you a conversation ever. Even without headphones, if you're getting obvious cues that someone doesn't want to talk to you, leave them alone. You don't know the context of someone's day. Sometimes just existing in public is hard enough. Don't make it harder because you think it's polite. Story 2. Accepting something that someone offered you. This is mostly in the Middle East, I think, but it's really frustrating for foreigners because a foreigner will never know the correct time to accept an offer. If someone offers to buy you dinner, there is a very delicate balance of refusing and accepting. You have to refuse like 4 to 5 times. But if you refuse more than that, you'll also offend the other person. But if you don't refuse it several times adamantly, then you'll look greedy and selfish. If they fail to offer it insistently for like 4 to 5 times, they'll look like they didn't mean the offer and they aren't generous. A lot of Middle Easterns are shocked when they come to a Western country, and they say something like, "Hey, let me pay for this." And the other person says, "Oh, okay, thanks." Insert shocked Pikachu face. It takes a while to get used to the fact that Westerners will just take you up on the offer. At first, it feels like Westerners are greedy and they want to take advantage of your generosity, but that's not the case. It's just a different culture. It makes more sense to accept an offer straight up instead of a whole theater production first. But Middle Eastern people need that theater production to feel everyone's been proper and polite. Not sure about you guys, but I say, "No, it's okay," once. Then, when they insist the second time, I say okay. Story 3. Drinking by yourself. Sometimes I like to get a cold one or two when I play video games by myself. The light buzz makes me more easily excited when I do something cool in a game. I'm the type who plays his game better, buzzed. I don't do too much, I just drink so that I notice my mood lines up. Interestingly, when I mention this to people, they immediately tell me, "Drinking alone is somehow pathetic, don't you think?" Or something along those lines. But when I tell them I do it with friends in Discord or TS, they go, "Oh, that's fine then." More often. Story 4. Talking about the money you make or your salary. I've talked about salary with coworkers a few times in my career. A couple of times I found out I was underpaid. I asked for more money on my next review and was given what I asked. Sometimes companies overpay new hires when they're desperate for somebody good. The worst thing that can happen is their best, most experienced employees find out about it. Salary secrecy is always beneficial to the company, never to the employee. Story 5. Leaving without giving an acceptable song and dance about why you're leaving. With leaving because you have basically reached your limit with socializing being not a good enough reason. People who can stand to be around other people for huge amounts of time, more power to you. But me, I can't do that. And I don't want to have to make up an excuse to do so. I permanently lose several crops about every 6 months, so I'm becoming less apologetic about doing what's best for my well-being. I've had a lot of fun, so good to see you. Bye. Why are you leaving? Because I've had a great time. Now I want to go home. Like, because we're in our mid-30s and we've had this same conversation about whatever, 90 times over with the length of our friendship, I'm sure we'll do this again soon. The moment has passed, it's okay to go our separate ways for the night. The Irish exit exists for a reason. Story 6. Being the first person to get up from your chair when snacks are brought into a meeting room. There's always that one hero that does it though, so others can get in line. I'm this hero. None of that weirdness. I was at a Friendsgiving recently when this happened. We're all there for food and nobody would go first, including our friends' parents were there. We're all in our 30s. I was just grabbing a drink and came into everyone standing around and the host saying, "Well, someone has to start. You bet I piled on my plate first." This is a good one. It's strange. Story 7. Ladies can call their friends their girlfriends, but a man absolutely cannot call his friends his boyfriends. That's not fair. For years, the most physical contact I've had with another male was a handshake. Then I met a group of guys that hugged. Freaking game changer. We unironically hug, say we love each other, talk about our problems and stresses. It's actually the best thing in the world. It makes you feel accepted and loved. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Ooh, something came in the mail today. I wonder what it is. It's Rufus Rugs!
Got him!
Now, hopefully after this ad plays, you too can say you got him! A rug from Rufus Rugs. Now me and the boys have been grinding non-stop 24/7, making one-of-one hand-tufted premium rugs. Now there's a chance you own a carpet that looks something like this. Let's just be real, it's time for an upgrade. And luckily for you, me and the boys from Rufus Rugs are at your service. We don't make those average cheap quality looking rugs. Nope, not gonna happen. Each one is handcrafted to perfection. No shortcuts, no robot assembly lines, and no dropshipping BS. Just pure rug grind. Whether you love anime, sports, cars, or anything else you can think of, we can turn it into a rug. So click the first link in the description and have your custom idea come to life. Story 8. Going out for dinner by yourself. Over the holidays, I was visiting my grandparents. My aunt said to try this restaurant near them. Neither grandparent wanted to go, so I said I could go by myself. My grandma looked at me aghast and asked if I really would go by myself. I said, yes, I do it all the time. She looked offended and kept questioning me. I told her I lived alone at home. Was I supposed to invite friends out every time I wanted to eat? Eating alone in restaurants is fine. I'm in, I eat, I'm out. No lollygagging, no waiting for other people to finish. I'm there for food and that's it. She probably came from that generation where they dressed up just to go grocery shopping. Story 9. Not answering your own door. There's like a salesman at someone's door. They won't want to answer, but they will act like no one is home and be really quiet so the person outside the door doesn't hear them. But it's your house. I could just stare at a salesman out the window as he rings my bell. Who cares? It's my house. I don't have to answer my own door for whatever reason I deem acceptable. You came to my house, not the other way around. My neighbor also came to my house the other day, rang my doorbell, and I was trying to put my son down for a nap, so I didn't go down. But then she messaged my wife and was like, hey, your garage is open. I can see someone is home. Why didn't you answer? So then my wife messaged me asking why I didn't answer. What? For whatever reason I choose. I had a good one this time, but maybe I'm asleep. Maybe I'm taking a shower or a dump, or in the backyard, or maybe I'm on the couch. Maybe screw yourself. It's my house. You took your shot to see if I'd answer and I didn't. Move on. I loathe when people come to my door. If you don't have my number, there's nothing I need from you. No soliciting, no dropping by. I want to be in my own home in peace, and if I wanted someone else here, they'd be invited. Story 10. Using swings or playground equipment as an adult. I freaking love going on the swings. I'm 30 and it still fascinates me that I can quickly and easily get 10 to 15 feet or higher in the air with some simple leg movement. One day I was at a fairly deserted local park on the swings having the time of my life. Suddenly, Karen shows up with her 2 ankle biters, hands on her hips, and yells at me, "What are you doing on there? The swings are for the kids, not adults." My tax dollars paid for these swings and there's no sign saying that I can't, so I'll use them as much as I damn well please whenever I want. How much tax did little Jonathan and little Kimberly pay last year? None? Guess they can't use the swings either. The swings were not the crappy weak ones, but had thick chains and rubber seats. I'm sure they were more than capable of holding my 190-pound self. I didn't tell Karen to screw off, but I did tell her to have a nice day. Don't let your inner kid die. Nothing wrong with getting a little high now and then. Story 11. Apparently self-defense isn't allowed in schools. I guess you just have to accept the punches. Zero tolerance is actually BS in a lot of ways in regards to schools. Yeah, great, little Johnny got his face roughed up and thrown to the ground without any fighting back, but screw it, zero tolerance. Gotta suspend them both for a week. That crap has been going on for a very long time. I got in trouble twice in high school for defending myself from people who initiated it. Thankfully, my parents weren't morons and understood there's a difference between being the instigator and defending yourself, unlike the US school system. Tip for passive high schoolers. If someone wants to fight and they hit you, it's already done and you're gonna get punished too, so you might as well fight back since there's no going back. At this point, you might as well take the guidance counselor down with you too. Story 12. Talking to yourself. There are plenty of studies confirming how it can be a really useful technique to reflect on yourself and order your thoughts. It also has calming effects. Like praying out loud is, in some sense, like talking to yourself. I don't mean that in a way to discredit religious people. I talk to myself every day. It's like I'm able to discuss my life with a friend. It helps me a lot in structuring my day and being positive in general. Story 13. My dad gets super offended when I put my elbows on the table. I still don't know why. For those of you wondering if it's because my dad was punished for not having table manners, no. While my grandpa had a thing for getting buzzed, he didn't do anything like that to his children. Plus, my dad put his elbow on the table and doesn't reprimand anyone but me. He flicks my elbow off the table when I do it. Apparently, this came from old tables that would collapse or fall over with elbows on them, so it became bad manners and stuck. Either way, it doesn't make any sense at all now. If you want to keep your elbows on the table, leave a like in this video and subscribe to the channel. Story 14. Pooping in a public bathroom. It's not necessarily unacceptable, but it's something that always elicits a reaction of discomfort and often disapproval. I've definitely heard people loudly exclaim that they could tell someone just took a dump in the bathroom, acting all disgusted. I mean, they didn't do it on the floor. They went to the proper pooping receptacle. It just shouldn't mean anything and shouldn't be worth commenting on. People poop in bathrooms. If you're in a public bathroom and you didn't know it, that's where people poop. Stop acting surprised when a bathroom smells like people do what people do in bathrooms. For a long time, I had poop anxiety over this. Now I let my bowels rip so the whole shopping mall feels my mighty rumble. Story 15. Being open and honest about not having kids. In my personal life, I've gotten more ridicule and very pointed questions bordering on disrespectful over being child-free than about any of my other opinions. Once I said I wasn't having kids, my family became obsessed with whether or not I was dating and who and oh if he wants kids. What if I meet the perfect guy, but he wants kids? Well, then I guess he's not the perfect guy for me. Simple as that. I don't want kids, and no, I don't have to give you a detailed bullet list about why I'm not having kids because what I decide to do with my body is none of your business, dude. If you say you want kids, you get an, oh, but right now you have your time to yourself. Like they're thirsting for their single free days, downplaying how great it is to have kids. If you have a miscarriage, they say, you can try again. At least you can get pregnant. Like what? Once you have a kid, you're naming it what? How are we supposed to remember that? When are you having another? You don't want X to be an only child. You can't win. No one escapes scrutiny from these pushy aunties, grandmas, and complete strangers. Your best bet is to give them no information. Story 16. Standing backward in an elevator. There was an elevator in a building I worked in that for a couple of the floors, the doors open in the back of the elevator. Basically, you'd only use those floors if you worked there and were moving things around in a cart or hand truck though, so it only happened a few times a week. So I'd get on with my stuff and turn to face the way I would be getting off, and then I'd get funny looks from people because I was facing the wrong way, until the doors opened in front of me and behind them and I got off. It pretty much never failed to blow people's minds. I've never thought about this before. It is weird and I don't know why. Story 17. Being or doing childish things. People aren't time bombs and magically hate cartoons or roller coasters or any color outside of the monochromatic black or white values. It isn't bad to enjoy playing a bit of My Little Pony fighting his magic after tucking your kid in. There is a time and place, but nothing wrong with adults having fun doing things intended for kids. I am a huge comic book loving, cartoon and anime watching, video game playing, Lego-like idiot with a kid due to be born in 3 weeks, and I fully intend to indoctrinate him in the way of video games, comics, and everything else. If he enjoys them, great. If he doesn't, no biggie. Not going to stop me from enjoying my things. Let people enjoy things. People don't live forever, and being thrown into an arbitrary box prevents people from enjoying what they, legally and safely, wish to enjoy. Story 18. Talking about things or aspects of yourself that you're proud of to people. If you're doing it with the intention of inflating your ego, then yeah, don't do that. Thank God that's socially unacceptable. But talking about your own self-love, which is important for any individual, to others or whatever. I think it's important to have a sense of pride in the things you do because that means it's important to you, even if you suck at it objectively. Story 19. Being honest. Since I was a kid, I've always cared a lot about being honest all the time. I quickly learned that it was a lot of work when you always had to make up excuses and cover things up because of a tiny white lie, so I began saying everything as it is. Most people don't like that. People get mad when they ask for my honesty and get it. My family constantly tries to change me, and finds that I'm too honest and open and tries to tell me that it is not socially acceptable to say the things I say, mostly when I'm honest about how I feel and how my life is going or my past. Also, when I tell people I date that the most important thing for me is that they're totally open and honest. They don't believe that that's what I want and keep lying and covering stuff. Even the smallest stuff that maybe wouldn't feel nice to hear but is heartbreaking for me to find out I was lied to about. I find that to be the most annoying thing. I never feel like I can trust people because they always lie about even small things. I mean, if someone asks me if I want to hang out and I need to rest, I just tell them that I want to. But right now I feel too overwhelmed by life. How would that be more hurtful than when they lie and you see them not doing the thing they used as an excuse? Story 20. If it's winter and you're a woman, if you even mention the fact that you don't shave your legs as much as you do in summer because of the cold, even to other women, they act as though you're a leper. Just the thought of a woman not shaving to baby soft smoothness every single day really rubs people the wrong way. Like they think you're dirty or something. I shave during winter now because I have a boyfriend. Yep, cringe. But I admitted in passing that I only shave my legs maybe once or twice a week during winter because nobody will see my legs in the sun and see the hair. If I shave once or twice a week, they'll get pretty prickly, but inside the comfort of my home, it's not really that noticeable anyway. Grown women were shocked at the concept, as if shaving your legs every damn day for them to be sitting under your jeans isn't a complete waste of time or something. Story 21. In some places, calling in sick because it's letting down the team or whatever. Screw off, I'm sick as a dog. There's little I will accomplish other than feeling like death warmed up so you aren't missing out on much. Plus, I could spread whatever I've got to coworkers, then we're all sick. If I am sick, you shouldn't want me at work, because then everyone else will get sick and it ruins productivity in the office. The only possible reason for demanding a doctor's note is if you think for some reason I'm lying about being sick. And considering I'm sick, I'm not going to get one, because screw you, I'm sick. So what makes you think I'm leaving the house for a stupid bit of paper? The doctor's note thing is such crap. You can be sick and not need to go to the doctor. Why would you spend the money to go to the doctor for them to tell you to go buy some Mucinex and rest? I was once shamed for missing work for having a worst job I've ever had. Glad to be out of there. I've been so sick I couldn't get to the doctor if I tried. But even then, my boss would probably get mad at me for not calling an ambulance or something. Story 22. The whole manspreading thing. I've got some thick thighs for a dude. To be blunt, they squish my little buddies and that stuff is uncomfortable when I sit down. I'm not trying to steal anyone's empowerment, and if I see you walking towards me, I'm gonna make room because I'm an accommodating individual. Chances are if you see a guy with his legs spread out, he's trying to keep his stuff from getting squished between or under his legs. Story 23. Having a dream that requires a risk. My friend and I have recently started planning to open our own business. We've built a 10-year plan and are under no delusion that it will be easy. Even those who are supportive look at me with skepticism when I mention it. Several of my friends immediately jumped on a tirade about all the things that could go wrong. I'm not saying it won't work, but I just want people to believe that it's not only possible but likely that I will succeed. Story 24. Refusing generosity. It's perfectly alright to politely decline, even though others would vilify you for being ungrateful and cold. I was taught that people are only offering to be polite and don't actually want to do what they're offering. This one is probably super cultural. I do this with certain things. If someone at home walks by and says, "Ooh, cinnamon toast crunch," of course I say, "Would you like some? I have plenty." But deep down I'm thinking, please don't say yes. Story 25. As a woman in the US, if I go out in public without makeup, I'm tired or sick or gross. If I don't feel like shaving every inch of my body at all times, I'm lazy or manly. If I'm single, I'm lonely and need a man. If I'm single but have some encounters, I'm a street worker. As a mother, if I don't have full or more than half custody, I'm a bad mom. Just mind your biz, okay? Maybe I don't know, simply didn't feel the need to impress everyone at the grocery store at 9 p.m. when I'm buying Hot Pockets without makeup. Maybe I didn't shave before going to the hot tub at the gym because I don't care about your opinion. Maybe I'm perfectly content being single and not doing someone else's laundry and fighting about who does the dishes. Probably have a better life than most married couples anyway. Maybe I work more than my child's other parent, and maybe he's a really good parent and I don't mind having a little extra time to myself. Make these things normal. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you made it this far, I'm sure you'll also enjoy. What's the biggest scams in life that no one wants to admit? Story 4 was so true. See you in that video.